Welcome everyone to the 9th edition of Lawn Care Skull Sessions. I'm Ben from Catch Pro, always with me, my co-host BJ, the bearded lawnsman.
What's happening, guys?
And special guest, commercial, what are you?
Commercial sales manager.
Commercial sales manager, Aiden Andrews from Cox Mowers. How are you, pal?
Afternoon, not too bad. How are you boys?
Good, brother. Good.
That's
Good to have you. Now, we've only had one guest on the show before, and that was via a Zoom chat. So this is the first time we've ever had anyone in person.
A bit different.
So something a little bit different. And
I can touch him.
We've got a we've got a new set. We've had a fallout with our producer, so we're in the Catch Pro shed today, and you bought a new house.
I bought a new house.
And is there a new studio there for us?
There will be one built. We will be making it a very pretty studio.
So
it's a fun end.
So bear with us, everybody. I don't know how long we've been filming in here. Hopefully not that long.
Hopefully not that long. It's hot.
Okay, cool. And so we're going to be chatting all things Cox Mowers today. As you know, Cox Mowers is the distributor for Wright Mowers as well. They have a long history in the Australian mowing industry. So looking forward to bringing you some great content. Now, when we teased this on previous episodes, we were going to get like a casting couch for him.
Yeah.
We couldn't tee that up.
Real up close and personal.
Sorry everyone for that, but maybe one day in the future we'll get like Leroy on or something.
Oh, I've got a 3-seater.
And you'll fit on it.
Yeah, maybe I'll bring down a 2-seater so we're even closer.
I would worry about myself in between you two boys. All right, let's get straight into it. So,
awesome.
Can you, just to catch our audience up for everyone that doesn't know you, can you give us a brief history of Cox Mowers?
Yeah, so essentially Cox was one of the original two lawnmowing companies in Australia. You had Cox and Greenfield back in the day.
Yeah.
Both started around like the 1950s.
Wow.
Cox in particular was started by Owen Cox.
Yep.
From there, he was the one that first produced the ride-on lawnmower. So from there, he developed everything in Australia. That's what we see today. So he's the person we have to thank for all those sort of...
Yeah, and
so
now
tractor style?
Tractor style. So really like low seat, almost like a miniaturized golf cart.
Sweet.
And you're sitting on the engine, just a little 28-inch cut deck.
Nice.
And a lot of those mowers, those earlier models, some of those models went for generations, right?
Some are still going now. So for like today in the office, I had a lady. The first sort of production model tractor was called a compact tractor. She called up today, still asking for blades on a compact tractor that's 55 years old.
Wow.
So like they're still out there. Not many, but they're still out there, still being used to this day. Yeah.
Yeah, and just skipping forward, we'll just briefly touch on, so there was Cox and Greenfield.
Yep.
And Cox has consumed Greenfield?
So essentially what's happened is that since 1950s to about 2014, they're always just competitors.
Yeah.
Nothing too like ugly or anything, but just two brands selling a similar product with different sort of varieties of what you can offer.
And the manufacturing was in the same...
Brisbane, about half an hour away.
Yeah, wow.
So it was, I think we were in Acacia Ridge and Wollongabba at the time, and they were just in Logan somewhere. And then Cox had the opportunity to take on the manufacturing license of Greenfield back in like around 2015.
Yep.
So we took that on, and then so we were still producing Greenfields, and but we never bought it. And then so it's still going to this day. And it was an opportunity for Cox to sort of, do you think, take control of the dealer network? I wouldn't say take control, but I'd say
take advantage of the dealer network?
Yes and no.
Okay.
So at the time, Cox still had a few more dealers than Greenfield, but I think it was more also preserving the Greenfield name in Australia.
So out of respect?
Yeah, essentially. So if we didn't take it on, yes, and another company might have taken it on, but maybe not to the same degree as what Cox could have done.
Yeah.
It did.
Smart business move, whether it was out of respect, taking advantage of a dealer network, whatever it is. Not only do you get extra credibility from another brand.
Exactly right, yeah.
But you can, and there's business ways to capitalize on it.
And it was a good business opportunity too, like taking on two businesses that do really well. It's like buying another guy's customer base and expanding your
That's
business.
right, yeah,
so
sure.
It's a, like a no-win, so no-lose situation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like going from there.
Yeah.
Cool. So moving forward, when did you decide to enter into the business?
So I decided, before I was doing it Cox, I was actually a contractor such as everyone else. So I was pretty stubborn as a kid. So I grew up on 3 acres. We had the Cox Mowers and the chainsaws and all that sort of shit. So by the time I was 10, I was using a chainsaw, cutting trees down and mowing 3 acres of all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, nice.
So then when we moved to suburbia, which I was around like 14, 15, I was like really bored on weekends. So on the Sundays particularly, because I was doing sports Saturdays, which was fine. And Sundays I was just doing nothing. And then one of my family friends posted an ad just around the corner from me saying, looking for a mole man, do that. So I messaged her saying, oh, hey, I'm free. So I picked up my dad's Honda Buffalo push mower, his Tanaka whippersnipper, and just old Echo blower. Took her around to her place and was doing that. I used to walk around the street, and then 3 months later I did the whole street, and then my street, and then still got a car, and then mum and dad started dropping me into jobs.
Yep.
And then got my P's, and then
Yeah,
went
sure.
from there.
Started off with some good gear. That's
I was actually quite lucky. So like,
Takes me back some of that. It's an Tanaka.
Yeah.
So James Mosquito, if you're out there listening, he did the same thing. He used to just take his gear out around the street and then look what you can become. Yeah. So great stuff.
And then so that got me through all school and all uni, and then sold the business last year in August. And then coincidentally, Cox were looking for a job. Mum had a roll up, so I joined them at the end of August. So
yeah, sure.
So I started that part time, and then had 2 months left of uni, finished that off, and then went full time.
Okay, so you're the commercial sales rep for the brand.
Yep.
So what does that job role? What's a typical day for Aiden?
Just it depends. It varies. Like
So
today,
you have to travel and do deals and with all the dealerships.
Absolutely.
And stuff
So
like that?
since I look after Australia, I travel a shit ton around. At this stage, majority of East Coast Australia. So before COVID was a thing down New South Wales and Victoria, I was going for 2 months down there just after Easter, and then did all that. So that was my first really big trip, and which was really great. And then because I was moving in Victoria and New South Wales into their season, and then just after I think Queensland had their last lockdown, I was up in North Queensland for 2 weeks. Yeah, and then just did up and down, up from Cairns out to Atherton, come down inland, Claremont, Longreach, and then back in. So it's a fair bit of driving, but
and how do you find that lifestyle compared to say being a contractor? Because I know like now that I'm not going out and mowing like every single day, and like I'm stuck in here, when I'm building catches and stuff and wrapping products, I'm quite happy. But when I'm sitting down in front of the computer, either doing research, emails, writing up instructions, or even when I'm driving around on the road picking up materials or dropping stuff off, I hate that. And because when I ran a mowing business, and obviously this is just who I am, everything was very organized, and I had routines, and it was easy for me to structure my day. But now it's like I can get a call from the factory and say, hey, there's 100 catch pros ready, and whatever it was that I was doing, I'm picking up pallets, and all of these crazy things are happening, and I know it fucks with me big time. But so I just didn't know how you handle that situation, and what's different for me is like I'm my own boss. So like if my feet are hurting, I can take my boots off or something. But it's not like you're kicking back in the office, with a durry hanging out or something.
It definitely was a bit strange going from my own boss to working for someone. That was a big step in, because like I've always been, I wouldn't say stubborn, but like I like to do my own thing sometimes. So it was a bit strange when I walked into an office and I was like, not saying you have to work from 8 to 4, but like you still have to responsibility, and you have to report to someone and apply for holidays and stuff like that, which is fine. Like I'm used to that now, but like I was done with contracting. I was I woke up I woke up in August and I just said like I'm done. Did my time. Did my every summer like what you guys do. 70-hour weeks, 7 days a week, and
I do that all the time. I wake up all the time and say fuck this.
I did it the opposite way. I was working for the man for like 11 years, and then I did my own thing.
Did your own thing,
I started in the shit
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
My biggest thing, which you gotta really do, is like not getting dirty at the end of the day. Like coming home. Well, like I wouldn't say.
I still get pretty dirty. I'm wearing a white shirt. I'm wearing a white shirt on the set today, and Aiden rocks in, and I've got no shirt on and everything because I can't be trusted to wear it until we're ready to roll. So, but no, I do it. I know what you mean. Like the other day, I was messing around with a hedge trimmer, first time in a while, taking one apart and everything, and I was like full of grease and.
Yeah. Well,
I said straight to my wife, I was like, I don't miss this shit at all, you know, because it used to be my life all the time. I was always fixing something or
like sharpening chainsaw blades,
you know,
swapping mold blades.
I'd rock up on a Saturday to say g'day, and he'd have fucking three or four things out, bench testing everything, everywhere. Like,
there's a lot of that stuff that I don't miss, and I definitely like appreciate, you know, all of our contractor audience that
absolutely
still has to, you know, be a part of that.
I'm part of that.
BJ's a part of that. He's
well, they're what drive our industry. You know?
Absolutely.
You and I wouldn't be employed if we didn't have them.
No, I wouldn't
welcome.
be. I'd be still out there. So, and what sort of, so like, you know, when we talk about the history of Cox with the tractors and the zero turns and everything, there's a new commercial line out. Distributing stand-ons and commercial sit-downs. Would you like to catch the audience up on some of those brands and what's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. So what Cox Commercial have right now is a line of heavy-duty zero turns ranging from a 48 to a 54 and 61-inch decks. And then we have the Wright machines, currently with the standard Bs that I've got in. So the 32, 36, 48 and 52. They're our main lineup, and that's what I sell a lot of. In the future, definitely expanding to like, let's say, diesel-powered engines for the zero turns and like the Wright ZKs and the other brands of Wright. So
hold up, I heard you say it. Can we make a special announcement now? Can we do this on the podcast?
Yeah, we can announce it. Yeah.
So what have we got coming in December?
So we've got the full lineup and range of the Wright ZKs coming in. So we've got the 52 in the Kawasaki and the Vanguard, the 61 the Vanguard, and the 72 dual wheel Vanguard engines coming in. So
you know, BJ's a Skag guy. I feel like he's going to leap out of that chair right now.
What we'll do...
I'm feeling a bit nauseous.
We'll take a demo out and we'll go into like your 40-acre property.
Yeah, sure.
And we'll get a bunch of guys out and just do that sort of fun stuff. So
yeah, the ZK...
I'll have to keep BJ away though.
Oh man, competition's good.
He wouldn't be allowed on them.
No, we just won't invite him.
Okay.
We can even start our own podcast.
Fucking invite you here.
No, it's cool. We can have a race, right? I don't know what the specs are. I mean, look, in America, Wright and Skag have both been at the forefront of innovation since the very beginning.
They were the original.
They were the
Wright
Wright was the, but you know, and I don't know. I believe this is true. I think. Wright came up with the concept, and I think Skag may have just snuck it to market first. Is that true?
There's a lot of difference in opinion. Like I've heard similar things.
Yep.
But I've also heard that Wright brought it out first, and like there was a whole thing that Skag came out with one 6 months later, and then like there was a whole.
And back then it was a Great Dane.
Yeah. And then like there was like lawsuits involved and lots of stuff, and then I heard other opinions where Skag came out first, then Wright chased them.
Yeah.
Like. I honestly...
From what I hear now, in the American market, they both have... I know Ed Wright has a ton of respect for Dane Skag, who is obviously, you know, old man dead. But they've always been at the forefront of innovation, and both have an excellent product.
It doesn't matter what machine you drive. Like,
that's it.
They're both A mowers at the end of the day. They do our work for us. Like they're a machine. Like
so, quick sidebar while we're talking business. In the Australian market at the moment, obviously, you know, there's been an influx of stand-on mowers and new brands coming in. You know, Bush Ranger, Wright, whatever the case is, new Bobcat lines and stuff like that. With the impact of COVID, there's a big issue with supply and demand, and I know, you know, because I talk to everyone. You know, and when people are, you know, saying, oh, okay, do you think these will sell? Or, you know, the 32s, how well are they going to do? 34s, what's the magical number? But really the answer at the moment is whoever's got stock is going to be successful in the market, right?
Yeah, like that's a big turning point.
Yeah.
You know, so It's like, if someone pulls up looking for a Skag or Wright 32 and I don't have one and Skag's at one there, then why wouldn't you?
That's right.
Yeah,
And that's what's happening
unless
in
you're
the
like a
market.
dead set keen person on a Skag or Wright and you're willing to wait the 2 or 3 weeks, which might turn to 3 months, then like that's fine.
And I've always said it to BJ as well. I think, when we're, because lots of people reach out to me about certain brands and mowers, and I think it always makes a lot of sense to just have a look at your surrounding dealers and what they've got.
Yeah.
Start there first. And if you're a diehard, like BJ and I both bought our Skags from Melbourne.
Yeah.
We wanted, I wanted a V-Ride.
Yeah. As soon as I got the Tiger Cat, I knew like just the quality. I wanted a 32 V-Ride.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So it's there is bits and pieces to it, but I think at the end of the day, if you're supporting your local dealers, you kind of, at least if something happens,
exactly right,
you've got the support.
Covered. Yeah, exactly right.
Unless they're a fuckwit dealer, which is there is dealers like that out there.
There is got cases like that. Yeah.
Now, in saying that, do you wish that Cox ran it right earlier?
100%.
Yeah, I thought you might.
The history of like Cox and Wright's pretty interesting because it was before my time actually.
I hope you're going to give me some fucking credit here.
Yeah. So Ben went to our CEO Peter and was like,
good bloke PJ, by the way.
Yeah. And then
is he on the LMCO page?
He is.
He is.
You should text him and get him to join the live feed later. He's probably having a martini
or on his boat.
Yeah.
You were in the factory doing a tour. I think it was.
Mate, what the story was, I'd hurt my back.
Yeah.
I was looking for a stand-on mower. I did get one. I got a Bradley Parklander. So it's Parklands. It was Parklands put their name on it, but they just backdoored it from an American company called Bradley Mowers.
Yeah.
Really, really, really loved it. It was a Chinese-built machine. And at the time when I was developing Catch Pro, I was just reaching to every distributor, trying to get distribution for my product. And PJ was great. He was like one of the first people to reach out and actually answer one of my emails. And he invited me over, and we were just, trying to get a distribution deal for the Catch Pro.
Yeah.
And while I was there, I was like, hey man, because they, this was 24, 36 months ago. Yeah. You walked into that site and it's deceiving. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
You've been there, hey?
Yeah.
You go in there and, I remember my wife was with me and PJ took us through a really nice tour, and you see all the dudes pressing metal parts and doing
all laser cut, all the
it was the real deal. And I just remember saying that this is where the first Australian stand-on can be manufactured. No. Now, obviously, we know now that never happened, but I was on PJ like a motherfucker.
I think you were, and I think when you brought it up, because that's when Charlie and Ed first reached out to Cox and like proposed the idea, and we didn't know too much about them.
What the funny thing was because I don't really drink. But I had a few drinks one night, and I was with Rusty.
Is that what everyone says when they don't drink?
He doesn't drink.
I don't drink.
No, I really don't. But anyway,
he drinks. He fucking drinks.
Well, I was still all right. Anyway, I thought to myself, "Fuck it, I'm just going to text Ed."
Oh yeah.
Right. So over Messenger.
Yep.
And I'm just like, I just reached out and I was like, "Hey, give us a mower." I was like, "Give me a Wright mower." Yeah, it's ridiculous, right? Give me a Wright mower, let me use it, let me film it, let me do all this shit, and I'll get you distribution.
Yeah.
Because the dude who had it before you guys, he buried it. He fucked it for everyone.
Yeah, it was actually Wright before us. So Wright themselves came out before.
Okay, it was...
There was a few people.
It's been done a few times.
Yeah, try to.
Anyway, obviously I didn't get it, but I did reach out, to whoever I could, and I just knew...
I was going to say it looks a bit bare out there.
I knew Cox Mowers. I could just feel it that they've got all this history. They make a great tractor, right?
Yeah.
But all of these tractors. This is just my opinion. Tractors suit a market that is small right now. It used to be huge. and now that is dying. And I do think like all of the, consumers that were buying Cox tractors and everything like that, eventually those people are going to die, and their sons and daughters, they might buy a Cox because their dad had one.
Yeah.
In the zero turn range, I really felt like with the influx of all of these American machines, there's a lot of competition out there.
100%.
And we demoed the Lawn Boss and some other machines, and I always loved them. I've got an awesome video on YouTube of like me doing a few different things with the Cox zero turn, and I always really loved them. And I thought to myself, if these guys can get a stand on, then not only do they have that awesome history, they've got, your zero turns for your 1, 2 acre, 3 acre, whatever the case may be.
Yep.
And then they can really go after the contractor market.
Yeah, exactly right.
And you guys went one forward by bringing in the zero turn sit down range as well.
Yeah.
So now you're able to hit at every point.
Angle. Yeah.
And I think it's great.
Yeah. Well, with the zero turn range, because it's yellow, did you guys look at the Wrights and go, maybe we should keep it?
That's a bloody good question. Well, not how it happened, but yeah.
I asked when we put our first order in for. Before we put our first order in, I was in the board meeting with our Cox, and I was discussing. I told him like, here's my plan of attack, and like, here's how I try and do it. And I showed the chairman like the photo of the Wrights.
Yep.
No yelling. I was like, what are the chances of us getting them red? And I'm like, it's a pretty good call.
Well, that's what most of like
exactly right. So all Cox is known as red.
Yep.
So I sent my email saying, after the intro, I was wondering if this is possible to change them to red because Cox is associated with being red and it'll fit really well with our brand and what we're bringing in. He goes, sorry, Ed, unfortunately, due to like the fact that like Wright is known as yellow as well, and like the difficulties of changing the color around the stuff, we'd be unable to do it.
Yeah,
like, not an issue at all. Like it was
such
just
a shame.
It was a long shot in the dark, but like
because I reckon it would have been really cool. Because yellow, like I get a little bit bored of all the colours, and I've said that a few times.
Yeah,
but being able to have something, even though it's not made here and stuff like that, having something red with a little bit of an Aussie touch to it and stuff like that, I reckon that would have been really cool.
Yeah,
because people do love stuff that looks good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like even
and they look the yellow ones look good anyway. Yeah. I'm just saying,
like little aspects like paint the deck black or like have the caster brackets black.
Features.
Oh yeah, you got to thug out those things.
Everyone's dropping.
Did you see is it Toro's or John Deere's new edition of like the camo?
No.
Yeah, as a product line. Not
as like a special one-off, like as a special feature.
Yeah. I didn't see the camo.
I saw the silver deck.
I saw the chrome dome.
Yeah, the chrome dome.
Well, definitely. I'm not sure if it was GIE or after, but I definitely saw a video on Facebook of a blacked out, camoed wrapped John Deere or Toro.
Cool.
It looked pretty sick.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
I'm thinking it might be aftermarket, like some army guy in America might have wrapped it.
I got a Catch Pro hydro dipped with skulls.
Yeah.
And ever since I discovered hydro dipping, I've wanted to hydro dip everything in my life. And one of the, like a concept mower or something, I mean, you can do anything with that.
Oh,
you know
easy.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I would absolutely love that.
Have you seen the SCAG guys that do the American flag on the front of their video?
I've seen that.
I don't know how an Aussie flag would go because it's not like, the American flag's quite detailed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been like a huge Aussie flag dude.
Yeah.
It just feels like, you know how you get all those bogans walking around with like those Aussie flag t-shirts and you're like, fuck.
And like it's good to represent your country, but then like the next level.
Yeah, and then you just got
I
was gonna say like you got all these barefooted Muppets rah, but I realised I got no bloody shoes on.
And you walk on half around no shirt anyway.
Well, what about can you run everyone through and catch everyone up the manufacturing process that you guys face now? Because it was in-house.
Yep.
Now it's not. And obviously there's products that are imported. What is the role of Cox in, both the import distribution and manufacturing right now?
So with the tractors?
With everything.
Yeah.
So you can start with one product line and just go
obviously
through
Wright's different, but Cox itself.
Yeah, so definitely like Cox were like in the last Australian manufacturer for ride-ons, like almost 70 years we're doing it. And then it came to a point where we were like, for a zero turn, for example, we might be 2 or 3 or even sometimes $4,000 more than a hustler for an equivalent. And like, yes, it's Australian manufacturing, but you know, some people didn't want to pay the extra $4,000.
Yeah.
So we had to, unfortunately, just ship it overseas because we either close the doors for Cox or move offshore. So.
And it's really unfortunate. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off. I see, like, I'm a part of Australian made pages, and people call me all the time, and they say like, oh. And sometimes they don't even ask me; they just fucking accuse me.
Yeah.
And you know, they say, "Oh, where in China is this coming from?" And they talk down on it.
Exactly right. Yeah.
But I've said it once before that I had a Catch Pro made in China.
Yeah.
And you know, like, you ain't telling the difference.
No.
You know, like, aluminium is aluminium, right?
Yeah.
And there's some other brands, you know, let's say World Lawn, for example.
Yep.
Now, I know this is competitive brands, you know, for both of you guys, but when you look at the product and it's running industry standard components, which is what you guys are all running, you know, Kawasaki engines or, you know, whatever it is, when you've got a brand like Cox behind it that has an impact on the overall, you know, the overall finished product. Chinese manufacturing is excellent, right?
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I know we've got our equipment defender racks, and it, you know, like, if I wanted to kill you with one of them, I could do it real easy. Just like, I mean, it's over-engineered.
Yeah, it's just something from like the stigma, which like I can guess agree because like the early days Chinese manufacturing, yes, like again, like they were learning. At the same time, how to compete with like American and Australian manufacturing and you know and European and stuff like that. But like it really has come a long way since. But also like the same manufacturing process that was happening in Australia is just happening in China.
Yeah.
Like it's just essentially just the labour rates that were like missing out on. Like
is it the labour or is the materials cheaper over there as well?
Purely labour. Like
it's purely that it's
really? Like it's materials. Yeah, you do get a bit of a cheaper route because you like order maybe one big batch and stuff like that. Okay. But it's it's just the biggest thing behind it.
Yeah. Well, put it this way, I know when we had our first conversations, and I'll try not to get too deep into it, you know, because there is, you know, it's just not necessary. But when we were looking, when Peter Jameson was looking to build Australia's first stand-on, so Peter Jameson is the chairman, right?
CEO.
CEO, yeah. Yep. So and part shareholder or not?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So. When he was looking to build Australia's first ever stand-on, he was looking at the because they were still manufacturing them, and he said, "Oh well, you know, let's have a look offshore." Yeah. Offshore was going to be about $4,000 cheaper. Based on, and you got to think that's with the logistics.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything about it, you know, like you have to get the materials to the factory. You have to make it. Those materials have to go, you know, the finished product gets sent somewhere. Then it goes on a boat, comes here, then goes to the dealers.
Yeah.
By the time you've done all of that, you're still $4,000 cheaper.
And it fucking blows my mind. And it's just like a whole mental thing too. Like, yes, you might be dealing with a lot more stuff logistics wise from like importing, but like if you're manufacturing, you have to deal with all the employees. You know, deal with all that sort of stuff. You know,
fucking employees.
Yeah. So like, you know,
I'm lucky right now.
You got one good one.
I got a top guy. Yeah. He's a great kisser. So I'm
I got told.
I love you for that.
I got told owning and running a business is like running a daycare.
Yeah.
Easy as simple as that. You know, like, and it makes sense when you work in a business. Like, because I was working for one by myself for 10 years. And I was like, well, I wouldn't really see it. And I'd walk into like, you know, my business or like I was doing one of my contracts and you see all the employees fighting and just the stuff that the boss has to put up with. Yeah. And I'm like, oh gosh, like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway, so by the time it gets back, like I know for example, like our zero turns, if we built that in Australia right now, instead of like the 61 inch being 17.5 grand, it would have to be like 29. Retail. Like just the, but for that one, that's a bit more like material and that what has to go into it, but purely just the labour and the man hours having to go in to build that machine.
I do think a machine, because that's a pretty bloody impressive machine, right? Because that's the one that we demoed.
Yeah, that was the original. That was the original demo.
I do think a machine like that would probably sell and get over just because it's so beefy.
Yeah.
So beefy, and you could really.
But then if you compare
But it's too
that,
much of a risk.
yeah, if you compare like that, if you take an Australian manufactured 61 inch, let's say 27 grand, the equivalent like Skag or Toro Hustler would be
it's-
like 18,
Yeah.
19 possibly, with the same engine or better engine, bigger transmissions, etc.
Yeah, I
And you
know.
look at like even I would be like
Yeah.
Australian manufacturing, great, you're supporting it, but like 10 grand,
Yeah.
a lot of money to spend extra. So,
It
like,
is, and I've always said to people, like we have, you know, the Catch Pro and the wheel locker, and we've got something
Things
new
like that,
coming.
yeah.
It's going to be Australian, but we have heaps of products from China,
Yeah.
and heaps of products from they're American products. Some of them will still come from China or Mexico.
Yeah.
But you know, like if you got the right person behind it and in charge, it's great gear.
Well, that's what we've got a full-time engineer and R&D in person who lives in China.
Oh, wow.
And he goes all between all of our factories and stuff because we've got a fair few. And like one of the best things that you might have seen like going to China is that it opens up your whole network of people you can contact.
Yeah.
So like now because we moved to China, we've got a whole lot of contacts. So we bring in log splitters now, vertical chippers, push mowers, all that sort of stuff, and we still have a lot of control over how to design them. So if someone contacts us or we contact them saying, hey, we want to import your log splitters.
Yeah.
So we bring them out, test them for like 6 months, make all the changes necessary to make them Australian fit or Australian, conditions, and then get them to change it and bring them back in.
So, sidebar, fun fact, everyone. I don't know if you know this, but I actually have a feeling that the Equipment Defender racks are actually manufactured at the same place that the Cox Zero Turn mowers are.
Probably.
And the reason why I say that is because I had reached out to Equipment Defender.
Yeah.
And at the very same time, so I was talking to the Americans.
Yeah.
Matt from Equipment Defender.
Yeah.
At the same time, PJ was talking to the Chinese factory that were trying to backdoor it to him.
Yes, that's actually right.
So-
I got an email from PJ saying,
And
like,
he sent me the thread,
Yeah.
and I'm like, and he was cool because he didn't even know, and
well, no, he found out from me because he emailed me saying, like, Aiden, what do you think of this opportunity? I'm like, better bring Ben about this one because it's his product.
yeah, it
like,
was,
it's a small world. Like,
it's funny to learn. I mean, yeah.
How big is
So,
the factory? Fuck.
well,
oh mate, those Chinese this is the thing that I have learned about Australian manufacturing. I know we're sidebarring a little bit, but when I've got the Catch Pro or let's say the wheel locker, for example,
Yeah.
my factory that I use only does flat sheet, so they don't do box channel or anything like that. They do flat sheet. It's laser cut and then folded. That's fucking all they do. If I need a piece of rubber or powder coating or a ball bearing, whatever it is, it goes across the road to that place, then it goes to this place, then it goes to that place, then it finally comes
like
to
some
me.
factories, yeah.
In China, you can get a fucking
Everything
plastic thing, wood lathe. You can get a
Powder coating.
You can get everything.
All the jigs for it. They can make
And you
it.
guys had that too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so we had everything on site. So
Yeah.
like the only thing.
Yeah, the
we-
laser cutters, the powder coaters.
Yeah. So
everything.
things like pulleys and belts and like blades and stuff, we put them in. Be like essentially from the chassis to the deck to the console.
And doesn't Skag? They do a lot of their own in-house stuff, right?
Yeah, Skag does heaps.
They have their own.
America is very big like that.
Yeah.
Not all of it. I know Skag and Wright does.
Yeah.
Like
Um,
Metalcraft is their actual manufacturing site.
Yeah, like their umbrella
It's
company or
cool.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video and you're not allowed to film in there, which is a bit sad. I'm hoping to get over there next year.
Well,
But
that's the same as when I go out to Power Up Lawn Care.
Yeah.
Like the grip skis out there, we were filming, and there's particular parts where, because they've got a guy out there that like he makes the tooling.
Like
for-
the jigs to like make.
Yeah,
the
yeah, like
welding.
he's making the tooling
Yeah.
jigs, and so they're like, no, you got to. I mean, you don't know what the fuck they're doing
Yeah.
anyway.
It's really hard to
But-
tell what it is.
Yeah, it's like just
Oh,
it's just a bunch of.
Yeah, it's a lot of what it means.
block of steel with a hole in it.
But
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one of those things where if certain people get a hold of it and they're
Yeah.
like,
Well, yeah, easily copy that.
Yeah,
And then
so-
make it themselves. Yeah.
and by the way, anyone that do you guys do tours anymore at Cox?
No.
Okay.
We don't. Yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Yeah. I mean, you can check out your video. And there's
Yeah.
a few news documentaries on that too. Like, look up just Cox Mowers manufacturing. Like
It's still a pretty cool site. Like
Yeah.
you,
Like
I know when I
like
go there's still tons of workers around, and there's dudes, doing the blades thing. And
we still make all of our spare parts and stuff. So we still weld and sort of make all of our complete deck kits. All the blades packages. That's all still done.
Yeah, I took a video of that, and we saw it out at the Gripskis too, when they packaged the blades and everything.
Yep.
Me and Rusty, and I don't know if it was me and you at a different time.
Yeah, it was you.
I always get fascinated by it, and
the heat
old
shrinking.
cobs are sitting on there.
Shrink wrap.
Yeah, just looks
oddly
really
satisfying.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
It's a hot job though.
mate.
Yeah.
The heat that comes off that shrink wrap.
Yeah.
See, mate, I sit here and I do shit like that all day.
Oh, yeah.
Like just cutting up stickers, doing like just
I
repetitive stuff.
work out in the sun all day and fucking mowers and whippersnippers.
Sniffing dog shit.
That's it.
So, do you think, just putting you on the spot, if there was any Brisbane boys or any visitors, that you could literally still, take them for a quick tour, right?
Yeah, if they want to see a warehouse.
Yeah. I still reckon it's cool.
Yeah, like
I honestly do. Like if you go, I'm just going to compare it to the Gripskis. They don't do any manufacturing there.
Yeah, I mean, you can
they're
definitely give you a tour of like the process of what happens, because it is like any other normal business. Like the order goes through here, gets picked. Like the picking slip gets picked here, goes on the back, like it's like the spare parts and stuff. Go through all the aisles of spare parts, and then if it's a deck, then the deck gets made. Goes back inside, then like it's
cool.
invoiced out, and then
I dig that stuff.
I mean, I can't do Catch Pro
we
tours.
kind of we like that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
but
but I was big like that. But like you can do a lot of like a food manufacturing clinic at Waco.
Yeah.
Like they've got this assembly now, like these 5 robots that make lasagnas.
Oh man,
So
that's
what
crazy.
They took our jobs.
So what it does, like the mince is still made in like the big boilers in the olive room and stuff, but that comes through, and then suction cups of these robots pick up the pasta sheets, put in the trays, and then goes into this vertical spiral freezer, gets instantly frozen there, then shipped off.
Robot.
They are
mowers,
some fucking
robot lasagnas. What's fucking
they are some fucking sweet employees.
Yeah,
that's true.
Compared to some of the
the people we pick up these days.
Those employees aren't rolling down to Nimbin trimming buds for a quick cash cow, are they?
You got anything there?
I just really wanted to know what's the future hold for Cox. Like, what's going to happen?
Anything, like
Yes, I like that.
yeah, like
Sky is the limit.
you never know, like if
Handhelds? No, getting too far out there.
I was sort of against it.
Yep.
Because
that's all right.
Because
look,
it's such
You
a
could literally have the slogan "Get a Cox in your hand." How good would that be?
I love
that
the
would
Cox.
get a Cox.
I posted one of my zero turn ones of this contract, like before and after photo, and someone commented saying, "What a big Cox you have."
Yeah,
that was my favorite one, I reckon.
it probably was Ben or man.
But I just find with the handhelds, like it's such a saturated market, and like if you don't have a good name of stuff behind you, like which Cox does, but we're not associated with that. Like it's a bit different, like when like Bush Ranger and like bring their stuff out, like they've got a good name behind like the push mowers and stuff already. Yeah. So it would take off fast.
I think what you're saying is probably right. It is something that you got to know what you don't know.
Exactly right.
If that makes any sense.
And like we could spend like that money going towards that, put it to more R&D for like a like a robotic tractor, or like something that goes into something like that.
I don't like those robotic fucking things.
We're not there just yet.
They're going to take everything from us.
I think Gary Ashton on the Lawn Stars podcast has something really cool on that topic. I don't know what I can and can't reveal, but if you are interested in that type of shit, he could have something really cool coming along. Yeah. So don't forget to check out our pod brother over at Lawn Stars. What about anything else? Like, say, there is a huge gap in the Australian market for a 30-inch push mower or self-propelled. Now, I know BJ probably wants to punch me in the head again because he's testing the Skag SFC 30. We know that is coming along. Yep. But there's fuck all in the market. Yeah. And look, now, I would probably still say this if you worked for Toro, but and I've never used one, but these contractors are buying these Toros and they're fucking breaking down. They won't clear wet grass and all sorts of shit.
Yeah. They still buy them.
But contractors are still buying them. Yeah. So there's a pretty big gap in the market. What do you got in the mix?
So we've got one coming. Well, Well, I shouldn't say we've got one. We've got one in the works.
Yep.
So it will be like full commercial. Similar. I wouldn't say very similar to like the Skag one. It is a bit different in the fact of a few features.
Oh, you're reaching there.
No,
I haven't seen it by the way, but the Skag is like it's out of this world.
Yeah, exactly right. So I wouldn't like. Yeah, everything's in testing at the moment, so I can't really reveal too much. Like it's in, I think it's in Europe right now being tested.
Okay, so there's no units in Australia testing, right?
No.
Okay.
I've got like the base model of which we got like the 21-inch self-propelled based off, and I said, okay, this is what I want on it for the 30-inch. So they took it from there, made a few bit more design changes, and then we got sent all the drawings for it, and so they're making a couple now.
So what I just want to put out there, and I guess I don't know if this is cool or not, but there's a guy out there, John Taekwondo. Yeah. That's not his real name.
He knows.
But I don't know if he listens. He is desperate for a 30-inch mower. Do you know who I'm talking about? John Taekwondo.
I've seen him commenting on everything.
He wants the Skag. He wants the Cox one. He has been he is desperate.
He's over the tour.
If you need anyone to test it, that was pretty loud thunder.
Yeah.
If we sorry, it's storming in Brisbane at the moment.
It's crazy.
If you need anyone to test that,
hit him up.
Please. I don't know this dude personally, but
put it through its paces.
Well, that's a really good thing with like traveling. I meet a lot of contractors. Like I reckon I speak to contractors more than I do dealers.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were gonna say chicks.
No. And then they're always like, oh, if you need anyone to test anything, give it to me. Or if you need anyone to like do a demo for someone else, like let me know. Like they're the best supporters of something that it's new coming to the market. Like it's the best thing.
Absolutely, and you know from yourself from testing their SFC 30, you can run it in real time.
Yeah, and it's like I feel like it's a privilege. Like it's one of two in Australia.
Yeah,
I get to fucking throw it on whatever I want.
Exactly right.
Beat it up.
And they're not telling you to like keep it on the wraps or anything. They're like saying,
I can't do a review.
Yeah,
I
talk to the camera and tell these people because. Hey, no.
Everybody wants
everyone thinks that you've been lazy, right? But you don't.
Is that
have
what they're fucking saying? Is that what they're saying?
No, you don't have it to review. It's testing.
It's testing. Yeah, I don't have. It's not a demo.
Fucking swear at them.
It's a fucking test unit. So as soon as it's not a test model anymore, there will be probably a couple more in Australia. They'll go out. Demos will go out. Hopefully. The casters will be here to go with them, and everyone will be happy, and people can stop asking me when I'm going to do a review. Because as soon as that fucking demo starts happening, the review's going up.
Because there is also a lot of responsibility. Like any contractors out there that are looking, if you're reaching for gear and like, I'll advertise that or I'll do that. There's a lot of responsibility. Like when I do the work for Bushranger and even that 61-inch, you've got to take all of the notes. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to be able to report back and say, look, I think this would work better in this situation.
Yeah.
And you've really got to have some credibility behind you. You can't just be like, let's say you've got the lawn boss that's been out for however fucking long and be like, can I test the lawn boss? There's me
the thing is, they're relying on you. If it's a test unit, they're relying on you to give them the right feedback to actually make the changes or to say it's not right for our market.
Yeah. You know that episode of the Simpsons when Homer and his long lost brother Herb and they built that car?
Oh,
See, I don't think when I get my 30 inches that I'll tell anyone.
Except for us.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Keep it on the wraps.
Well,
Because I don't want to have to
I can't even fucking use the 30-inch,
Yeah.
Like, I haven't even used the Skag.
I've got plenty of practice with a 30-inch.
Because what if it fail? What if I'm not happy with it and then it gets delayed like 8 months and then it's just like letting everyone down?
I'm telling you now, I'm doing some stuff at the moment and that's why at the end result is going to be so good.
Yeah.
Because you're not releasing something, let's say Toro, what is it even called? The fucking Time Master?
I don't know.
Now, everyone correct me if I'm wrong, because I only see the stuff written in the threads.
I honestly don't see very many of them around Brisbane.
But when you read stuff like, hey, what's some feedback on the Time Master? And someone says, hey, it's great, but don't mow wet grass,
Yeah.
don't mow up a hill, or don't mow long grass.
Yeah.
That fucking thing hasn't been tested properly.
I
It's the
see.
Australian
So
market.
it's a maintenance mower. It's a full maintenance
Yeah,
mower.
I see a fair few in dealers' workshops.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Bunno's, doesn't Bonnet,
Yeah,
can't
a
you
lot
just
of
roll in the
guys.
Yeah, I did see that. Then
Yeah.
Bunnings. Strange.
Now, like I said, what my issue with it is that Toro has got something from fucking headquarters
Yeah.
and gone, fuck yeah, we'll put it on the shelves, and they don't know fuck all about it.
Yeah.
And it's been like, don't get me wrong, they probably have different mottos to a Cox or a Skag or something, but it's so that they might be turning over those mowers, but as
Yeah.
soon as something awesome hits, like this Cox or the SFC 30, I mean,
It's
Jesus.
kind of like an application-specific machine.
Yeah.
It takes it out of that big broad range. So like you side shoot, you're mulching and you're catching, and it turns it into like this machine that can only do one specific type of grass in one specific condition.
Yeah, like
The main thing is the wet grass. Which
would
is
be
what
funny.
We're getting to fucking try right now. It's
Yeah.
It
wet
would be
shit.
funny as a Toro rep doing like a commercial and be like, do you want a mower that only mows dry, short grass?
On flat?
Get the Time Master. Nah, sorry to bury Toro. They do make great machines, but I do believe that machine is letting everyone down.
Yeah.
So, Rich Gainsford, if you're listening over there in WA, I still like you. Okay, so talk to us about the industry boom in Australia and how that has worked so well with, let's say, the new commercial machines that are coming out.
Yeah.
Timing's been perfect, right?
Well, I reckon a big part of it was actually COVID.
Absolutely.
Because people couldn't travel overseas, so you had roughly around like $30 billion being spent in Australia.
Yeah, I bought a Ram truck because,
and people alright, over COVID, Bunnings had one of the best years ever because of COVID.
Yeah.
And it's like contracts as well, because people want to come in, do my lawn, make it look perfect. Because I'm going to be here over Christmas, I'm going to be here for school holidays.
Yeah.
I care what it looks like now.
Yeah,
So,
when we were in lockdown, and we could still work in
Yeah.
Brisbane.
Yeah.
I know everyone, went through horrible stuff down south, and it totally sucks. But when I knew that we were going to be here for, a week, 2 weeks, whatever, I would just bung me workshop shirt on and go straight to Bunno's.
Yeah.
Get, wood for the cubby house,
Exactly right.
all that stuff.
Like
I was
top dressing soil and all that.
So
You
much
built
stuff.
a mansion and fucking planted your gardens.
I mulched all my gardens with every single kid in the neighbourhood. You can go on Facebook to see that.
Yeah.
But the industry boom has been awesome, right?
Yeah, it's been really good. And the sort of, not I wouldn't say worry, but now because we had a great year in 2020, is it going to continue in 2021 and 2022? Because you buy new machinery, this is residential and contractors.
Yeah.
You buy a new machine, going to last you 2 or 3 years, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe once, contractors once a year get a new machine. It just depends on sort of be cautious on that. But at the moment, it's gone off no tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And when I'm just going to circle back to the ZKs.
Yeah.
Anyone who isn't familiar with the Wright, are we saying Z or ZK? Because me and Beto always tribute that, so we can just say
It just
ZK.
depends.
It's more natural to say ZK.
Yeah.
So for everyone out there that isn't familiar with the ZKs, go and check them out. Put them in the Google machine. Have a look. That's going to be so awesome.
Yeah. So it's the right top of the range stand-ons, if you want to call that.
Yep.
16cc pump and motor transaxles. You got Vanguard EFI 37 and 40 horsepower machine.
They're going to come with the 40s. Yep.
I've got the 37s on order, and the other one's coming firstly. But I'm not too sure if they are putting the 40s on.
Okay.
But I know that my preference is because I saw Kawasaki's new EFI 40 horsepower 35 or whatever it is.
Is that what the Skags are getting? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Just depends what's available.
yeah, that's the biggest thing is availability.
Yeah.
Availability.
It's because I'm not sure what you guys heard about the engine tax on non-Sin engine and Chinese engines now from America. Everyone's going to Kawasaki or Breeze or Kohler, and that's the reason why it's really hard to get engines, because the tax on like a Lonsin Chinese engine has gone up by 300% in America.
Yeah,
so everyone's like, well, we can't afford that, so might as well try and get a Kawasaki or Briggs and stuff. So everyone's at 110% capacity, and no one can really get them. So
yeah, there's a photo floating around about I think it was the Spartan factory over in America, and there's like huge play. You can see like 500 mowers.
yeah,
Not one of them has an engine.
Yeah.
They're all waiting for the
that's us.
What about hydro gear and stuff? Do you have trouble with that, or is it just engines?
Just then. I'm not too familiar with that, but like from a Cox perspective, engines are all the issue. It's just the shipping delays and stuff. It's the manufacturer of engines, and then probably like transmissions are fine, I think.
Yeah, because there is a shortage with hydro gear at the moment, isn't
Yeah.
there?
I
With
haven't
manufacturing.
really heard much of that.
Yeah. I think it's just certain brands, because they all
Certain
run
specs.
hydro gear. There's hydro gear, Parker.
Yeah, and then anything from
Tough
like
Talk.
Yeah.
Is that?
Oh no, is that Tough Talk from hydro gear, isn't it?
No, they're not. No, that's just another
Oh, it's another
hydro.
brand.
Yeah.
But that's all there is across every
Yeah.
mower,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And then as soon as you go like hydro gear, the 3000 series above is all commercial. So you have like the 1400s and like the 2800s, which is all domestic, and like
Yeah.
the EZTs, which are like the non-serviceable ones. But
Yeah.
you don't see many of those going around. But
No.
yeah.
Okay, and so you've been doing lots and lots of demos and meeting, dealers, trying to get the stand-ons in. How has that impacted the brand and sales by being able to do? Because not every brand offers demos,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's quite
And
hard.
meeting contractors and letting them, say try before you buy.
Exactly right.
Is awesome, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so like definitely when I was down south for 2 months, hour and a half on the weekends when I was supposed to be I was doing demos or doing open days for dealers and like arranging a bunch of guys. Like I know on a Friday afternoon I was down in Wagga Wagga where Stephen Wiener's.
Yeah.
And he found
Good
out
bloke.
that,
Hey,
yeah.
Chromo, let's give him a shout out.
And then he messaged me saying, "You coming to Wagga?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "All right, give me 2 days." Rounded up 10 or 15 blokes on a Friday afternoon. Did demos across stand-ons and stand-ons and zero turns, and we were like just a bunch of beers and just chilled out for the afternoon.
Yeah.
And like, that was awesome. And then I did the same thing in Melbourne and everywhere, all the way up, down and up. So
Well, BJ and I do the same thing
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Skag. So Skag don't typically do. You can jump on a mower and take it for a drive, but you can't cut any grass.
No,
and go and spend.
exactly.
But if you're in Brisbane, you can reach out to either one of us. I'm probably a little bit lazy these days, but BJ. He's the man, and you can have a look over the Tiger Cat and the B-Ride.
I'll do one better than you for the demos. For the ZKs that are coming in, doesn't matter where you are in Australia after borders open and stuff. If you're seriously interested in the ZK, I'll fly you up to Queensland. We'll do a demo on a property that's just basically in hills. You can either play on a 72-inch dual wheel or a 61-inch. And tell me what you think of that. So that's for people who are seriously interested. You fly up for the day, we do the demo for half the day, I take you out for lunch, and then put you on a plane back to
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Now we've got
How do you vet the seriously?
Well, that's
interested
what I'm trying to work
Do you have
out
to
now.
put down
I'm trying to
deposit?
think if I do ask for a deposit, like that's a bit rude. But then like
Fuck it. If you're buying them up, giving them lunch, then
yeah,
use your fuel.
But like the thing, like
You can tell when someone's. I can tell when someone's reaching.
yeah. So there's a few guys in New South Wales which they've been haggling me for ages. Like
Yeah.
I think there's 4 people right now wanting to come up. I'm like, no, the day's coming. December 17th is the day. Or
Yeah.
after Christmas, whatever it's going to be now. So it's going to be pretty sick. But like there's 72-inch for example, just without the dual wheels is 25 grand. It's going to be 25 grand. So if you're gonna spend 25 grand,
You're not
try
going to
it.
fuck around and fly interstate if you're reaching, right?
Yeah.
No, I do a bit for a free lunch.
And for a free demo. But like so that's gonna come when the ZKs arrive. We're gonna have a bit of fun, just meet new people.
I can't wait. You'll go, eh?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
We've got some real pressure to produce this episode and get this out now because that's a big announcement.
That's huge.
So
Let's hope it's recorded.
What if we have to replay this?
There's no one behind the camera.
Oh,
I'm Mr. Producer.
have you got anything else, Beach?
No, I'm all out of questions, mate. We've
All
covered
right.
about
Well, I think we can get ready to put a bow on this episode. Hope everybody enjoyed this. And go and check out your local Cox, or if they're a greenfield dealer, if they're an authorized greenfield dealer.
Yeah, they can definitely inquire about the product. So I have a dealer roughly every 40 minutes to an hour and a half away from each other. No matter where you're on the state.
Yeah.
Or in Australia. East Coast of Australia at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, like definitely Cox or Greenfield. There's a few machines around at the moment. There's truckloads going out at the moment. So.
And you're double jabbed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can
5G connected.
Yeah. So you can cruise out when the border restrictions are up.
Yeah, so I'll be traveling a fair bit starting next year. Be heading down south first, and then just working my way up, and then even WA soon, and then probably South Australia after that. So
sounds good.
Yep, I'll be traveling a fair bit, so definitely see a few contractors out.
It seems like it's going to be a pretty long season. We're taking in water right
Absolutely.
now. So
Close to the power cord.
well, I want to thank you
No
very
straight,
much.
man. Thank you guys for having me.
Coming out.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Don't forget to check us out on your favourite podcast players. Check us out at YouTube. BJ is now like the man on Instagram.
There you go.
We will get into, we'll talk about it. We won't bore Aiden with the bullshit, but it's just me and Beej now.
Yep.
So
We're doing it all.
And when this episode goes live, I'm going to be at Stradbroke Island.
Oh.
It's the twins' birthday. We're going away Saturday, Sunday night. She's live. So if anyone, if we drop the episode and I don't get back to you, it's because I don't fucking want to.
I'll try. But I'm a producer and a small business owner now, so.
I'm only joking. I actually do want to get back to you, but you get fuck all reception over there.
Yeah, you would if you could.
Yeah, I'll be. There's like I walk around with my computer now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So. But definitely leave us a review. Do we have any reviews yet?
I haven't seen any reviews come through.
I did notice we got an email saying like 2,500 downloads. It was like a milestone.
Awesome. Bam!
That's so good.
I'm assuming Aiden's going to get that up to 3,500.
Yeah, help us out.
The Skag versus Wright, so it's going to cause a bit of controversy.
Yeah,
the
we
people
can
out
do that.
there. Should we have like the promo cover of like BJ and I head to head?
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm a fucking digital artist as well. Give me a break.
All right, well, that's it for us. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.